I mean, it runs around, it picks up the dirt with the spinning brushes, but it doesn't suck. So
That's like the main point of having a vacuum.
yeah. Well, it's many years old. Uh, okay. So we're waiting for our guest to log in.
Correct.
And for Charlie to log in. And if our guest hasn't seen the comment yet. He might have seen the fact I said wait 20 minutes and then gone away, so. Hopefully his phone is good.
Right here transitions from hair to facial hair.
Are you going to try and grow a beard, or are you just doing the stubbly
stuff?
No,
I just like the stubbly stuff. Beards get, like, I tried growing it out a little bit. When I went to Connecticut, I didn't shave for a while. And it grew out pretty long, but it just got itchy, and I just don't like it, and it doesn't look good. Like, I think this looks adequate. It's not, like, too unruly.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I wanted to grow a beard, it's going to be scraggly for quite a while, and that just doesn't look good. So I don't think I would look good with a beard. Like, a little facial hair is fine, but no, if people can't maintain it, it's just not good.
Yeah.
Plus, I know way too much about bacteria and microbiology and beards.
I'm surprised you even leave the house after doing all that biology stuff.
It's the more you know about things,
every time I leave the house, there's millions of little things trying to kill us.
Oh no, trust me, there's things that I know about for like bedrooms and bathrooms and kitchens that are so much worse than just leaving the house.
You mean the sponges?
I just mean your pillows. Like, pillows are terrible. Do you know, how often do you think you're supposed to replace your pillows? Not the cases, like the pillows itself.
Well, I mean, it depends. In a perfect world, or realistically? I mean, in a perfect world, probably nightly.
They say that you're supposed to change your pillows every 3 months. Hey, Roy, how's it going?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hello, I hear you. How are you? Fine?
Doing pretty good. A bit hungover, but, you know, hanging in there.
You might want to introduce yourself.
Your picture looks good. Your audio is good, so that's
Matt,
really great.
Introduce yourself. He doesn't know who you are.
I am Matt, by the way. I am the host of the show. It is nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, for our basic show, I'll kind of go through the layout a little bit and how the show works.
I already go through the layout before on our video
so
test.
Bird's already kind of briefed you about the layout. I'll just kind of go through it again really quickly. So we do a 10-minute pre-show, which starts in 20 minutes, so 7:50 Eastern Standard Time.
Maybe
then
in 20 minutes.
Yep.
20 more minutes.
Yep.
Pre-show.
So that's going to be the pre-show, where we're just going to be just very casual, talking back and forth with the audience. And then right at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in 32 minutes, we're going to go into the actual show. At that point, your microphone and your video will be muted, and we will bring you back on when we get to the interview section, which should be in about 10 minutes after we start the show. We just got a couple segments to get to, and then we'll head to you. Some of the questions I have for you, I'll just kind of read through a couple of them so you can brainstorm some of the answers. Costa Rica is known for its beaches. Can you tell me about the best ones to go to, and why are some of them better than others? Are there any active volcano tours to be using? I would love nothing more than to hike through the forest of Costa Rica. Is there enough time to be able to take a tour through the forest from the ships? Because I know sometimes the docking periods can only be like 6 hours, and it's kind of tough to do some of the more tours there. I really enjoy food and a lot of cultural different types of food. So what are some of the staple foods that some people really have to try when they're in Costa Rica? What is the main language of Costa Rica? How many different ports are there off of the ship? Or how many different ports are there in the area? Are there any illegal activities there that Americans might not know about? For example, when you go to Mexico, some medications that are legal in America are illegal in Mexico. or medications that you can buy in Mexico are illegal if you bring it back to America. Best place that all tourists should try to go or see before they head back to the ship. What's the approximate time to go from a port to a main city, and how much is it usually going to cost for a taxi ride there? And is there anything people should be concerned about when leaving the cruise terminal? You know, when you're ever going to a new foreign place, there's always going to be a couple different places that some people should avoid or maybe be more wary of. And yeah, that's pretty much most of the questions that I
That's
have.
it.
And we're gonna have
Okay.
our
Sounds
guests ask
good.
questions
Sounds
as well too.
You're going to show our logo, our Costa Rica Open Tours logo or something?
Let me ask Bird, our producer. He probably has it in there. Bird, are you there?
Hmm?
He doesn't have his headphones on. 1 second. Bird? Bird?
My last name is Ramirez.
Ramirez, okay. You have to change his last name. It's Ramirez, not, this.
It is.
Ah.
1 second, we'll change that right away.
Uh-huh.
We have this.
Habla para que tal vez se ponga a grabar de este lado, de mi teléfono.
1 second.
Pero no sé. En 20 minutos empieza la
Okay,
transmisión.
there you go.
Unos-
Wanna fix that?
How do you spell Ramirez? R-A... R-I...
I don't know. When you talk to me, I hear you, but maybe if you have more louder, it's
Okay.
better to me because I can hear you louder.
Okay,
I
I'll
have my 100
get the name
volume,
done, and
but
then I'll fix that.
Okay.
I can't do anything while you got that on the screen.
How do you spell your last name so I can type that in, and then I can increase my audio?
R-A-M. Let me write you.
R-A-M-I...
All easy.
Okay.
R-E.
There we go. Ramirez, got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Is that correct at the bottom of the screen?
Is that correct?
Uh-oh. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Charlie's logging in. Oh, I know what happened. Heck. I gave Charlie the wrong thing. 1 second. Tell Charlie log out, and I'll give her a new link. I gave her the... That's why. Send her back.
Okay.
Sorry. Got it. She's still trying. Gotta get her off first. No, you can't do anything till...
Yeah, I know, but I'll explain to him.
Yeah, Charlie needs to disconnect, but she hasn't seen that yet.
This is the issues that we have before the show. But
She'll see, she'll realize.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have him reconnect while she's doing it. Yeah. My mistake.
Okay, she saw it.
Now she's seen it. Okay, good.
That's not what it's okay.
Yeah, this is why we...
Iced tea mixed with Powerade.
Okay. Ask him to disconnect. Yeah, that's good. Why is Shelly still trying to log in? Yeah, my mistake, I gave her guest one.
Oh, I need to change that protocol.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay. He should get back in a second, I hope. I hope he sees that.
You got
Huh?
14 minutes.
You did get that right.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that.
Come here. Let me.
Not the.
There we go. Hey, there's Shelly.
Shelly's trying to break all of our stuff over here.
It wasn't her.
When
Okay.
I copied and pasted it, it must not have. It was still pasted in the original one. I got it in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's go with that. Now we need our guest. So we got
We don't have a
Shelly.
guest.
We did, but I gave you the same code as guest.
They kicked them out.
So.
Well, hopefully they're gonna check on it soon.
Well, I hope so. He was in. I hope he's gonna take a look in a second.
Yeah.
Is he not on the little messenger, the Facebook Messenger thing?
Yeah, but he's not seen my post.
Shelly, I found $100 on the floor of a bar yesterday.
You threw $100 on the floor?
No, he
Yeah, I
found
found one. I don't know, make enough money to throw $100 bills on the floor, Shelly.
You just dropped it, or it fell out of your pocket?
No, I was walking in a bar on the floor. I gandered down, looked at the floor,
You
in that
found
area.
it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
$100.
how awesome is that?
So good. Covered my whole bar tab. Almost.
Almost. Free night of drinking.
Pretty much.
Ugh.
Okay, come on. There he is. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, hopefully we have
Okay.
a guest.
Well, he has something.
Yeah, he's probably using his phone.
There we go.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Much better. Sorry, we had an issue with the server, so it disconnected everyone by accident. Do you have any questions
He
for
wants
us? by
better
the way,
audio,
Roy?
doesn't he? Ow. See if I can give him better audio. Check. Okay.
Are you able to hear me a bit better now, Roy?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
good.
talking to me?
Yeah. Good. Just wanted to make sure that the audio is good. Your video is good. We can hear you pretty well, so that's good. Do you have any questions for us, too, before the pre-show starts?
We got 2
No,
minutes.
I'm okay.
Okay, Awesome. Roy, this is Shally. Shally, this is Roy. Shally is my
Hi.
co-host.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, let me get this all ready to go. So yeah, people are gonna come into you and ask extra questions as the show progresses. Are there any questions you want me to try to avoid, or any sensitive issues? I don't know if there would actually be any or not, but I always ask people just in case.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everybody can ask me about. Doesn't matter.
Okay, awesome.
Excellent.
Bird, the vMix Social, is that for... I'm getting all of them
I need
right
that
now.
right where it is.
Okay.
Because remember, as soon as we go live, I've got to refresh that.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this was...
That will go away once I...
Okay,
Go
sure,
live.
sure. Gotcha. So I'll just say hi to some people.
Roy, you've got your phone plugged in,
Yeah.
right? Your phone is plugged into power?
Pardon?
Your phone has power being plugged into it? It's on charger?
Well, I'm with my computer. I think it's better with my computer, so I'm using
Much
my
better.
computer.
Okay, that's even better for us.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We've had some people use their phones in the past and they forget to plug it into a charger and it just dies in mid-interview and we're like, oh.
Yeah, last day Zach told me, but this is why I'm using my computer.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Hey, Shally? Shally?
Yeah.
Can you move the cam down or can you raise yourself up? You're like near the bottom of the screen.
Right, I just was slouching because we're
Oh,
not
okay.
doing anything yet.
Slouching,
Yeah.
Shally.
I
That's over
That's
here.
me, the sloucher.
maybe when you ask me something, make slowly and because I couldn't hear you very well. There's
Okay.
some like bad sound that makes me don't understand very well that you said me.
Gotcha. I can talk a bit louder and slower. Sometimes there's some issues with the sound going over, especially in further locations. Are you
Thank
able
you
to
very much.
understand me if I kind of talk at this pace?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So I'll definitely do that. When guests ask questions, I'm able to put them up there. I'm just going
Like
to
that.
use this one, as an example, so you can even see them down there as well.
Okay.
And yeah. So it should be a pretty good show. The interview is usually about 20 to 40 minutes. Yeah, make sure you answer the questions pretty lengthy. We've had some people in the past just kind of answer things in yes/no form, and it's really difficult to have an
No.
interview if they're like, yes, this is the best beach. Like, okay, we'll go on to the next question then.
Yeah, I understand. I try to do my better.
Nice. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming on tonight, so it's going to be pretty good. We already have a lot of people popping in saying hi. Hey, Robert Drake, how is it going? Melissa Colby.
They can't.
Thanks for...
That's from last time, Matt.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't go live until we go live.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if this was
No, that'll
from
clear
YouTube.
itself.
Okay.
No, that clears itself
Gotcha.
as soon as we go live.
Okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Cool. Shally, we finally have the behind-the-scenes camera up, too. So we have it where people can see behind the area, see all the screens, and they can listen to your audio when you're not on. So just
I don't really like that. Why do we do that?
so people can see everything behind the scenes.
So they
You
can see
guys
how we
will
set the show
understand
up.
all the mean things that Shally bullies
can
me
hear me.
behind.
They can hear me complaining.
But to sit here for 45 minutes to just
no.
stare at the thing and not be able to leave to pee or like,
Tell
not be
her,
sitting
not
up straight.
hers, Matt.
Not
Now you're
yours, not
confusing her.
yours.
Not hers.
Just
mine and Matt.
And
Okay.
Birds audio.
You make all the noise you want, Shally.
You can
All right.
be as loud as you want.
I want to be able to sit like this if I want to, waiting. Or my back is killing me.
Shally, in your bedroom, no one can hear you scream.
God.
True enough.
Anyway, so we got the behind the scenes camera up and running. Where is it actually? Okay, there it is.
Yes, behind
So,
you.
4 people tuning into that. Hello.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes before we're going live for the pre-show.
Yep, we're ready to go. Charlie, if you need to get a drink or anything like that. Roy, if you need to get a drink or anything like that, you got 5 minutes.
I have my
5
drink.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matt is actually
So
not
do I.
drinking tonight.
Yeah, I am done with alcohol for at least an hour. And it's,
For at least for now, anyway.
I got a bad time last night after a couple of those drinks at the bar. Cheap drinks makes a bad Matt in the morning.
Why did you buy cheap drinks when you had $100?
I got the $100 at the end of the night,
Shoot.
and I found it. I'm like, oh, I can either buy a bunch of alcohol and feel terrible tomorrow, or I can buy groceries and eat healthy. It's kind of weird, and it was really close. I had to flip a coin. It's nice. It's a good time.
Yeah. I'm gonna start it from here because
Okay.
that way I won't be able
Gotcha,
to
gotcha. Just let me know when you're
start
ready.
it from in there and then pulling it in.
You got 4 minutes still, so you're good to go.
Yeah.
Phone's charging up.
Notes all set.
Yep, notes are all good to go. I'm pretty sure I know the majority of them, so be good. Good. Energy levels are slowly rising.
Nothing like doing a hangover show.
You should have seen the midweek show when I had the flu. That was terrible. I felt so sick, so tired and exhausted. I slept for like 18 hours every day, and I still went to work and came back, and I just felt terrible. And Bird's like, Matt, are you okay? I'm like, I'm just really, really sick.
Oh, man.
But I'm good to go now. Usually don't get too sick or hungover after a night of binge drinking, so I'm good. I can still drive here and do my stretches before the show and get ready to go. We got 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna switch over to our
Pre-show countdown? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Actually, I have no idea how to turn my phone on silent. Oh, yeah, there it goes.
Me lo pusiste en la página.
Okay. Pretty much.
Yep, ready to go. Hello, everyone. How is it going? We have...
1 second. We have an issue there. Let's see what's wrong.
That was like all of my energy right there.
Time. I don't know why it does that, but. Okay.
Hello, everyone. We are live this time. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. Energy levels today have never been higher, and I am ready to go with this show. Tonight's drink of choice is a virgin drink. It is a Gatorade mixed with iced tea. Yeah, I went to the bar last night, had a couple drinks, so today is kind of recuperation type of day. So I hope everyone's had a fantastic week so far. I have a couple fun facts to tell people later on in the pre-show. And how I got this bruise on my forehead, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit later on. Our guest tonight for our interview is Roy, who is with Costa Rican Tours, and I'm really excited to talk to him later on. So get you guys questions ready for Roy, and we're going to be talking all about Costa Rica a little bit later on. Roy, what is the weather like down there so far?
Well, right now we are in summer. We out here have 6 months in summer and 6 months by rain. Is like this. That's it.
So is it better to kind of go during the summer months? I mean, how long does it rain for exactly? Just like 6 months, just pure rain?
Well, Winter takes like 6 months, but it takes like 3 months raining, and the other months you will find just well weather over
Yeah.
here.
Hey guys, coming in. Hey Carissa Colley, how is it going? Charisse Colley, how is it going? Guy Davis, hello. Robert Rich II, how are we doing today? Florida has the rainy seasons as well. Usually about April to probably August, it just downpours and it is terrible to come down here. It gets so humid. The mosquitoes are everywhere and it is a bad time to come down to Florida in those months. Plus it's super, super hot, like 105 degrees, really humid. It's just terrible. Shelly, do you guys get rainy seasons over there too for quite a while in Texas, or is it just all scorpions, dry, and steaks?
Houston is being near the coast. We're very humid here. We're almost exactly the same kind of weather that you guys have. The further west you get is when you start getting into that drier San Antonio, Austin, El Paso, all out that direction. That's where the dry part is. It's very humid here, just like Florida. We're so close to Louisiana, very swampy. You know, like Louisiana has all the swamps and. Yeah, we have giant mosquitoes.
Hey Rita, how is it going? So let me talk about how I got this wonderful forehead bruise. So, you know, I'm at work, just kind of relaxing, minding my own business, when I'm sitting underneath one of the tables, cleaning a bit of the floor area because I spilled some chemical on it, and I bumped into the table because I'm stacking all the chairs on it just to kind of clean the floors. And one of the chairs falls and just hits me leg first right into my temple, and now I have like this big bump and bruise, and it's slowly going away. We're trying to
What
work
was
on
it
the
last
lighting.
time? Didn't you have like a black eye or a giant lip? What was the last injury? I'm starting to get suspicious.
I get so many injuries. I'm
starting
so
to wonder if this
accident
is some
prone.
kind of made up story, like you're a
Domestic
battered
abuse here, I know, right?
a battered spouse or something. Oh well, you know, I dropped this 20,000 pound thing on my head, and yeah, I'm watching you, Matt.
I don't know. I'm
onto your
just so
shenanigans.
accident prone, and sometimes I don't even know how I get these accidents. Like half the time they happen at the bar, so I don't really know. I got like random.
Is that
scars.
how you found the
I have
100?
a big scar
Were you
over
laying
here.
flat on your face and got a really good view of the floor?
$100 bills makes everything disappear. Hey Ernie, how is it going? Guy Davis says, Shelly, I love Texas, but with the heat, the cockroach is bigger than cats. I don't do bugs really well. Not surprised, Guy Davis.
Florida
I
has
wouldn't
some
want to
big
go down
bugs.
either. Florida has lizards everywhere, and the lizards can be pretty scary too sometimes. If you're just kind of walking around barefoot at night and you feel them crawling over your feet, you know, it makes you jump around a little bit. It's like, okay, I'm really hoping it was just a lizard, but there could be a lot of other things on the ground down here that aren't really so pleasant. Anyways, guys, let's go into our question of the day. So the question of the day is, what time do you guys arrive on the ship for embarkation day? So usually embarkation day, I believe it starts at like 10 a.m. People can start boarding the ships. Is that right? About 10 a.m. or so? 11 a.m.?
Well, 9:30. If you arrive
9:30?
at the boat, you have to be at 9:30 at there. Yes, to arrive.
It depends on who you know.
Shelly's like, oh, I go on all the ships. They put me in the brig for a while to cool down before they send me to my cabin.
Yeah, right. No brig for me.
Well,
I'm a responsible drinker.
Shelly, did you see the video that we showed on the midweek show about the issues on the Carnival... Bird, what Carnival ship was it? The Carnival Legend. There was a fight on it.
Oh, the big brawl.
Yeah, the big brawl.
And all
on
the people.
Australian one.
Yeah, it was all over the group, Matt. Yeah, we saw it.
Just asking questions here.
No, I'm saying there were no less than 50 threads about it. Yes, we saw it.
So,
good Lord,
interesting.
people, get a hold of yourselves.
I'm not surprised that they're... So I'm always kind of surprised that there aren't more incidents like that on ships, especially ones that are all-you-can-drink passes. I feel like that amount of alcohol and people like fueled on vacation power there'd be like more issues, but
I would
No,
like
I
to
just
think that most
haven't-
people on a cruise are in a good mood and they're there to have a good time, and maybe that's one of the reasons that more things like that don't happen, because you would think, I mean, I know it's not all rainbows and butterflies, but for the most part you are on your vacation, so I would think you might be in a better mood than not have the road rage and bring it with you from your
I
daily
would
commute,
love
you know.
to think that too, but being in Florida and going to Disneyland as much as I have seen some pretty crazy parents like shake their kids who are crying.
Like, how
We're
can you be
having
a brat
fun. We're
at
having
Disney?
fun. And some people
How can
are
you be a
just.
brat when we're at Disneyland?
I just don't understand some people, especially just. I mean, you're on vacation. You're trying to have a good time. I mean, it's one thing to be a little bit drunk and a little bit, sloshy and maybe not so well mannered, but to go into like physical brawls or looking for
Don't get me wrong, I've seen some pretty obnoxious drunk people, but I think it's that, maybe the people around them, like, I mean, I don't let it bother me. I just like, okay, whatever, and walk along. I'm not going to get involved in the middle of it.
Group of women that were drinking, all wearing cheetah patterns and having issues and causing a lot of issues on the ship.
Very funny. Whatever, that was not us.
It was
we don't cause problems.
Group from
we
the past,
are the
present.
Party. We aren't the anti-party. We are the party.
We're having a wonderful party on the escape boat down there, heading to the island. It's great. It's great.
We took over the oh my God, what's it called? Oh, the bridge. I was like, what? The control panel. We took over the bridge. We were going where we wanted to go.
This is your new captain, Shally, speaking. Today, we're going to learn how to fit 98 pairs of shoes on your carry-on bag. Please meet me in the atrium.
Conga line on the Lido after lunch.
Oh my goodness.
I need to charter my own ship. That's what I need to do.
I can only imagine how that would go.
One of these days, we're going to get there. The CCPPF group cruise, you watch. We already booked like anywhere between, the amount of cabins doesn't really give you a good idea, because there could be 4 people in a cabin, there could be 2, there could be 3, but on the roster, I mean, there's, anywhere from 200 to 400 people go on these cruises. We don't, if that doubles and triples over the next few years, we might be able to just get our own ship.
Now, what would you guys, would it be like your own brand line of ship, or what do you think?
No, I mean, we would charter a Carnival ship that would the only people that would be on it would be the people that were booked on the CCPPF group cruise. So, I mean, we charter like the Breeze or the Vista.
You guys have seen Shally since the beginning, pretty much. Would you guys how would you feel about Shally leading a group cruise? Well, not a group cruise, but like the whole
We're on number 5,
ship.
Matt. What do you mean?
I would be interested to I would be really interested to see Shally's itinerary over here.
Oh my God, we have the group cruise groups all set up, the roll call pages. I have an itinerary. What are you talking about? Where have you been? Are you drunk?
I haven't been invited to these group cruises. At least maybe it's gotten lost in Bird trying to tell me about them.
Bird, hold me back. I'm about to get cray-cray. What do you mean? Y'all were booked on Group Cruise 4. You were supposed to shoot the video.
I don't
and you weren't there. Y'all canceled.
Shally's never invited us with us.
Bird, you know what I'm talking about. He's all acting innocent over there on the couch over there, like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. Oh, he's like, I can't hear you. What? Technical issues. What?
Thank you guys. We got a minute, so we're gonna do
whatever.
Pre-show stretches. So, Roy, we always do pre-show stretches beforehand because I am not going to be able to get another moment to be able to stretch freely before the show. We usually have videos that...
Your back really does get tired, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, I'm not griping. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm used to slouching. I'm not used to all this sitting up straight business.
It's rough sometimes just holding the same position for like an hour and a half. The only time I get is when Shally goes through a list, then I'm like, okay, I got at least 9 minutes.
Trying to look respectable, I'm like, I just want to, what are we doing?
Okay.
Barzal, can you sit up a little bit? I can only see you from the nose up. I'm like, whatever.
Okay, guys, make sure you guys get your questions ready for Roy for our interview, which is going to be happening momentarily. Okay.
Let me fluff the dew. Get the fluff going. There we go.
I can talk about our 2 catamaran tours here.
On our show tonight, we take a look at the port of Costa Rica with our island tour guide Roy from Costa Rica Open Tours. Shelly is covering some more tips and tricks for new cruisers from her vast storage of knowledge. I'll be looking at the flora and fauna of Costa Rica's shoreline, and of course, we have another great photo of the week sent in by one of you. Get your questions ready for our guests because you're watching CruiseWeek TV Live. Our show this week is brought to you by the folks at Good Memories Travel and by VMix. Hello, everyone. I am Matt, and I am back after what seems to be an eternity, but it's only been 4 weeks. My thanks to Joe for covering me the other week while I was tracking through the North Pole looking for ingredients to make Shelly the perfect wine. But I am back, and tonight we get to take a deep dive into Costa Rica. So if you have questions about the area, the port, and anything to do with Costa Rica, please type them in the comments, and we'll ask our guest, Roy, to answer them a little bit later on in the show. And for those who like to watch the show and how we put the show together, we have launched a new behind-the-scenes camera that looks over my shoulder, and you can see it right over there. And also has the audio from Shelly and Bird on it, so you get to understand what I have to deal with while doing the show live. That link is in the description on Facebook and YouTube. That camera goes live around 7 p.m. every Saturday, so you can watch and understand just how crazy things get around here. But before we go any further, let's take a look at our photo of the week. Our photo of the week comes from the Carnival Vista Galveston group and features Lena Dumau having fun on the water in a paddle boat. I always love the water pictures like this where you can see just how clear the water is and just how much fun it could be to get out into the water. Thanks for sending this in, Lena. You can send one into photos@CruiseWeek TV or wait to see us post a request in your favorite Facebook news group. Did you know that travel agents can save you money and look out for you? Good Memories Travel is one sure service. When Debbie saw the hard work we were putting in to bring you all the cruise news and information to help others, she wanted to help and support us. And we would ask you to support her next time you book a cruise. Good Memories Travel is a full-service travel agency that offers you cash back and incentives that you won't get booking direct with the cruise lines. Why would you pay more for less? You can call or visit Good Memories Travel on the web, and it costs you nothing to compare a price and see the superior service and extras you get when you go through Debbie and her team for your next cruise vacation. They cover all the cruise lines, and if you are a new cruiser, they can suggest the best ship and cruise to suit your cruising style. Give Debbie a call or visit their website today and see how much easier and cheaper it can be. Debbie can be reached directly at 321-338-2953, and of course to their website at goodmemoriestravel.com. Costa Rica is a rugged, rainforested Central American country with coastlines on the Caribbean and Pacific. Though its capital, San Jose, is home to cultural institutions like Pre-Columbian Gold Museum, Costa Rica is known for its beaches, volcanoes, and biodiversity. Roughly a quarter of its area is made up of protected jungle, teeming with wildlife including spider monkeys and quetzal birds. So, of course, that makes it a perfect stop for the cruise lines. Currently, the ships that visit Costa Rica from the Carnival are the Miracle, the Fantasy, the Valor, the Freedom, the Triumph, and the Glory. Royal Caribbean only has one ship, the Vision of the Seas, so only one royal ship is usually set to that area. To tell us more about the beautiful place and what you must see when you arrive is local tour guide Roy from Costa Rica Open Tours. Welcome to the show, Roy.
Hello there. Thank you for being here.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your tour company.
Well, we are a company of tourism, so we receive people from the whole world here in Costa Rica. Over here, like you says, We will find volcanoes, mountains, national parks, and a lot of kind of animals. Three kind of monkeys like howler monkeys, white-faced monkeys, spider monkeys. We have at both sides of the country oceans. We have the Caribbean Ocean and Pacific Ocean. So at both places you will find a lot of fun here. Our culture is for peace. Over here we don't have army. So this is something important of our country. I
So
don't
I
know if
was
you have
actually
some.
reading up on Costa Rica. I think Costa Rica is the only country, or one of the only countries, that does not have an active army that you were just talking about. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
What
there's one.
is what is the main language in Costa Rica, and what are some common other languages that a lot of people run into when they visit Costa Rica?
Over here we speak Spanish, and then we speak English too.
Is English pretty common in the area where you can have a lot of conversations with people, or will you normally have a lot of English speaking people around ports and tourist areas?
Since like 10 years ago, uh, all the kids and childrens start study in the high schools and schools. So start to speak English more right now than at last.
Nice. That's always really nice for a lot of tourists and different people. I know it can be pretty intimidating getting off a ship and trying to have some of the conversations. I know when we visited Mexico and some of the islands, some of the regional dialects are very, very thick and difficult to understand. So that's pretty neat that a lot of Costa Ricans have that school system where they can institute English in there. So for some of the beaches, I talked about Costa Rica having really amazing beaches. What are some must-see beaches that people have to go to, and why are they the best beaches there?
Well, over here we will find Manuel Antonio National Park. This is one of the famous national park and beaches here in Costa Rica. You will find mountain, national park, beaches, trails, and animals at the same place. In front of this national park, you will find some catamaran that we make a tour, one-day tour and sunset tour. And in this catamaran, you will see wild dolphins. It have eight alcohol drinks included. Have live music and a lot of things for fun.
Nice. So I absolutely love going to the beaches and exploring a lot of the areas, and Costa Rica has a huge rainforest. I believe it's 5% or 20% of the world's rainforest is Costa Rica. I want to say it's about 5%. But maybe it's better to ask you, what is the amount of rainforest in Costa Rica, and are there different tours that people are able to go through the rainforest on the cruise ships?
Well, Costa Rica is very tiny, you know. And over here, our 32% of all our territory is protected by national parks. So we save our nature in this way. We will find a rainforest, dry forest, mangrove.
So, what type of biodiversity, different types of animals and plants are really great that people should go to Costa Rica to try to look out for? I know they have a lot of different types of monkeys, capuchins. Are there a specific type of animal that a lot of people really like to see when they're in Costa Rica?
Over here, you will find the slot are two thoughts and three thoughts. The Caribbean size is very interesting animal here in Costa Rica. Lizards, there's a lot of insects, butterflies, wonderful butterflies, birds, a lot of mammals, whales, dolphins, a lot of animals here. Like you says, 5% in whole world of diversity at the plants you will find here in Costa Rica.
Are there any tours that are pretty easy to do off of the cruise ship with that, or is it a bit too far away from the ports?
Well, when the people arrive here from the cruisers, there's a lot of options to take their the rainforest or another kind of tours. It's available always here.
What type of tours do you guys normally provide to people?
Well, there's two places here important in Costa Rica. I mean, there is Manuel Antonio National Park at the beaches size. I think is the better you will find here for you if you come here. Think about it. And the other place is at the mountains, at the hot spring waters. We will find hot spring waters here in Costa Rica in the mountains with volcanoes. So this is amazing places for visit here.
Are the hot springs, are people allowed to go into them, or are the temperatures just way too hot where they will have a very bad time if they go in them?
There are different kind of heat in each temperatures of pools. There are a lot of spas and places that you can visit for to take a hot spring waters.
That sounds like it would be really fun to just kind of go into the hot springs and really just kind of settle down into the hotness of it. I've been to a couple hot springs before in the past, and they're always really nice and therapeutic. We actually have a couple questions coming in. This one comes from Ken Jordan. He asks, how many people currently live in Costa Rica?
Like 5 millions.
Nice. So it's a pretty small country overall, but it sounds like there is so
It
much
is.
different things to do there. So with these
You
volcanoes,
can
it
drive
seems
side to side in 5 hours. That's it.
that's
Side to side at the Caribbean at Pacific in 5 hours.
I think 5 hours from the bottom of Florida will probably only get you maybe to the middle part of Florida. Florida's a very terrible, terrible place to drive. I hate driving in Florida. Anyway, so Costa Rica has quite a bit of active volcanoes that you're saying with the hot springs. Are there any tours that take you up to the volcanoes, or what do you guys kind of do for some of the wildlife in that area?
Yeah, all of our volcanoes are protected in national parks. So you have the main entrance, you have people taking care of the places. So you arrive at there, you have all the safe. When you arrive, you see the volcano, but at some distance, prudence distance for everybody. Right now, we have an active volcano, is Poas volcano.
Do
hmm
you only have one active volcanoes, or are there quite a lot of them there?
No, there's a lot of volcanoes. We have Turrialba volcano active right now,
Mhm.
Rincón de la Vieja active right now, Barba, and Poas. There's a lot.
Are there any issues that you guys would be worried about the volcanoes erupting? Or do you guys have any protocols with that where it's any concern, or is it not really too much of an issue that people are worried about in Costa Rica?
Long time ago, that doesn't happen nothing, but it can happen. The
Mhm.
nature do whatever at the time that she want, but for make sure everybody is safe when something of activity happen in some volcano, the people who studies volcano says us stop going and don't let us go to visit the volcano more.
So I absolutely love trying a lot of different types of foods, different types of drinks, different types of
Mhm.
alcohols. What are some of the main staple foods down there in Costa Rica that people just have to try when they're there?
Well, there's a lot of people of kind of food here. Our typical food for for breakfast, its name is gallo pinto. It's like rice and beans with some species. This is for breakfast. It sounds different, but way that we start our day here, and we include eggs, some toasts, cheese, bacon, orange juice, and of course our coffee. Our coffee is
Mhm.
wonderful here in Costa Rica. I don't know if you hear about it. We have
I've
an
heard
excellent
it's
coffee here.
pretty strong, right? I've heard some I heard so I might be getting Costa Rican coffee confused with another South American coffee, where I heard that
Mhm.
it's kind of thick and not mud-like, but kind of murky, where it's just like a lot of the grounds. Or I might be thinking of Portugal. I really like coffee, but I usually am terrible at geography, so I kind of get some of the coffees mixed up in that area.
Don't worry.
Mm.
And for
So,
alcohol drinks, you will find a lot of alcohol drinks. Over here, we prepare some drink whose name is cacique. Cacique is made about sugar cane, so it's very strong.
does
Maybe if
it
you arrive at here, you can try. And our national beer is Imperial.
a
That's
stout
it. It's a
or?
nice beer. I don't drink, but
Mhm.
the people say that is nice. Mhm.
Now, the sugarcane alcohol, does that kind of taste similar to tequila, or have people described it as tasting kind of similar to tequila?
Have you tried before aguardiente from Mexico?
I
Aguardiente,
I am not 100%
kind of
certain.
is, but
I've tried quite a bit of alcohol in Mexico. Usually I didn't ask what it was. They're just like, here, try this. Okay, nice. So,
you don't remember nothing else.
what do you guys normally have for dinner? Like, what's the main type of meat that you guys have down in Costa Rica?
Pardon again?
What's the main type of food that you guys have for dinner and entrees and like the special type of meat down there?
Well, we will find rice with chicken, some salads, meat, chicken, poultry, pork, uh, mashed potato, lasagna, a lot of food.
I would have guessed lasagna. I absolutely love lasagna. So that's interesting. I would Is Costa Rican food and culture very similar to Mexico? Because I know a lot of different cruisers are very familiar with Mexico. It's usually one of the main stops that people go visit. What are some of the similarities that you guys have with Mexico, and what are some of the differences that make you guys a bit more unique from them?
Well, I think in Mexico there's a spicy, very spicy food. At here we don't use a spicy food. And in Mexico, I think, well, there's something different over here and there.
Can you tell us about some of the museums that are available in Costa Rica? I believe there was a gold museum around there.
Here there is Gold Museum, Ajayde Museum too, and there's a National Museum. There's a lot of museum. If you are in downtown here in Costa Rica, our capital, our state capital, her name is San Jose. Over there, you will find all the museums.
With visiting different Costa Rican areas for different cruise lines, this kind of goes into what Charisse Colley was asking. What is the ideal months to visit Costa Rica? When we were talking in the pre-show, you mentioned different rainy seasons. So, what are some of the better
Mm.
times to visit Costa Rica?
I think December until April is for summer, so I think it's better in this time.
For
But
the
at the other
December,
time, mhm,
go ahead.
at the other time you will find rain season. But at here we will call the rain the green season because everything turns very green
Mhm.
and there's a lot of things to do too. So doesn't it's not problem to us have rain
Mhm.
here. Hmm.
For December to April area, usually in the US, December is the winter months. Is it kind of reversed down there where it's warmer and like you guys experience more of the summer during the December area, where it's winter in the April, July type of area, or is it kind of inversed?
Okay, first the summer. The summer. For winter, you will get here October, November, and part of December. That's it. Less cold, but not too much over here. And you will find at the beaches of the country, in the whole country, you will find a warm, very warm weather. hmm And in the mountains, you will find a fresh weather. It's a nice
What
weather.
type of temperatures does it usually drop down to as a colder temperature down there? In Florida, a cold
Colder
point
here?
could be like 35 degrees Fahrenheit, which is almost snowing.
No, at here is not snow. Never.
So, what should people kind of expect during the winter months down there? Does it get pretty cold where you want to wear like a
Just
long sleeve
rain.
shirt or just
Some days a lot of rain, a lot of rain. You will find a lot of rain. Some days like one or two or maybe a week raining a lot.
hmm So would it be best to bring an umbrella when you visit Costa Rica then?
If you come in rain season, umbrella for sure.
Are there any good souvenirs to get while you're in Costa Rica? When I visited some of the other ports, let's say Belize, they're known for their hot sauce. Mahogany Bay is known for their mahogany statues. What's a good souvenir that people should look out for when they're in Costa Rica?
A souvenir.
A what?
Could you again, please, the
Yep,
question?
no problem. What is a good souvenir for someone to get while they're in Costa Rica? For example, like a hot sauce, or if you guys are known for clothing, what's something that someone should
Mm,
go down to Costa Rica to try to buy?
sure. The hammocks. You will
Hammocks,
find
okay.
here the wonderful hammocks for your
Are they
backyard.
usually are they normally handmade by a lot of the people in Costa Rica?
Yeah, made by handmade. Yeah,
How much would that normally cost if you want to buy a hammock in Costa Rica?
like $30 maybe.
Is that US or
U.S. Yes.
okay, that's not too bad for a price. So, with getting
Mhm.
off of the ship, sometimes it's a bit tricky to get to the city areas just by walking. How much of a taxi drive will it be to get from the ships to the city? About how much will it cost, and about what time frame do you think it'll take to get there?
Well, I think it depends at the place that you are going for true. But
Mhm.
maybe it's better if you, when arrive at the place, talk to somebody, foresee what you can do. Over there, you will find some tour operators that they will show you what to do or
Mhm.
offer you some things or tours for to take. So I think is the correct way to do the things for
Nice.
make safe for everybody.
For some of the eco spots of Costa Rica, are there any areas that people should try to avoid because it's just really protected and you're not allowed to go there because it's very sensitive with the type of plants and animals that might be living there?
All of national parks is very protected. You cannot cut or extract plants or animals over there. You can go by jail if you do this.
Do you guys have any types of zoos where people can go to the areas and see the animals a lot easier, or are zoos not very common?
Yes, we have zoos. We have like three zoos, and there's a place who have waterfalls, and we will find the pumas, monkeys, butterflies, hummingbirds.
I really like going to different types of zoos and really seeing a lot of the types of animals that live in them. Some of the tours down there, I've heard about bird tours where they play different sounds to attract specific types of birds. Do you guys have any different types of bird tours or monkey tours, or do you just kind of go around and see what you try to find?
We have tours about bird watching, a lot of tours of bird watching at mountain and at the beaches, at the coast, and you will find a lot of animals too.
Okay, Roy, where can we find out a little bit more information about your tour company?
Well, we have a website. I don't know if you can show. Yeah, this is Costa Rica Open Tour.com. If you're going to visit our country, it's going to be a pleasure to show you our country. that because Costa Rica is for everybody.
Well, thank you, Roy, so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you being here and talking about Costa Rica.
Thank you for inviting me.
For its newest ship, the Carnival Horizon, Carnival's in-house entertainment team has partnered with creative directors from Broadway, Los Angeles, and London's West End to create 3 brand new shows for the ship. Soulbound, Celestial Strings, and Vintage Pop will debut on Carnival Horizon when it enters service in April of 2018. A 4th show, Amor Cubano, a Caribbean dance romance, is also being performed on the Carnival Horizon following an incredible debut on the Carnival Vista last year. Soulbound is hosted by the Soul Catcher. This fun, high-energy show offers a gothic-inspired journey through New Orleans, with stops at recognizable Crescent City landmarks like a haunted paddle wheel ship, an apothecary shop, and a cemetery haunted by levitating chairs and other spooky, stunning illusions. Celestial Strings merges the beauty of classical music with modern pop that takes place in an elegant and enchanted garden that seamlessly transforms from season to season, stimulating the senses with unbelievable visual imagery, 3D cast interactions, and aroma-infused sets to bring the garden to life. Vintage Pop takes viewers back to the Great Gatsby and Cotton Club era with contemporary songs, featuring a toe-tapping 6-piece live band performing in a modern-day speakeasy, highlighted by a burlesque number. Vintage Pop ends with a rollicking after-party in the atrium where guests can dance and interact with the flappers and the zoot suit outfitted cast members. Amor Cubano is a Caribbean dance romance. This show blends classic Latin songs with today's hits and features authentic reproduction of Horizon's Havana Bar. The show is highlighted by a 7-piece Cuban-inspired band that performs songs by Gloria Estefan, Celia Cruz, and others amid a tropical, multi-hued backdrop of Cuba and Miami. So 4 new shows on the horizon for you guys all to enjoy. I am really excited and can't wait to actually see these happen. The Carnival Fascination resumed its year-round schedule of 7-day Southern Caribbean departures from San Juan this past Sunday, following an extensive multi-million-dollar dry dock that added a variety of popular food and beverage concepts. Catching up to the rest of the fleet with Guy's Burgers, Red Frog Rum Bar, Blue Iguana Cantina, where they have those amazing little fish tacos that I absolutely love, the Tequila Bar, Sushi Express, and the bar I wanted to turn into my personal cabin and my next cruise, the Alchemy Bar. Gotta love those cucumber sunrises. Oh, and for the 3 people that actually use it, they have also upgraded the gym. I think that is cruise speak for dusting off the workout gear and rearranging it a little bit. I mean, post a 1 in the comments if you guys actually use the gym on a cruise ship. I know I would absolutely, like to use the gym, but I just don't. Running around with Bird and the camera gear is more than enough workout for me, and I work out my liver plenty as well. It feels like I have been torn away from Shally for so long, but we are finally reunited. I am sorry I couldn't find you the ingredients to make you that perfect one. I guess you'll just have to keep buying it from a 7-Eleven. But anyway, I know you want us to tell us about all the different types of cruises you can take from your long history of cruising, starting with the Titanic's first voyage. Shally?
First of all, 7-Eleven, I don't shop at 7-Eleven. I buy my wine in a box at Costco. Thank you very much. Don't do 7-Eleven. Are you drinking? Oh, that's your Gatorade and iced tea.
It
that
has
sounds
electrolytes.
awful.
It's what plants crave, Shally.
Yeah, you're not a plant, Matt, and that looks terrible. Yeah,
I never said it tasted good.
Woo. Well, I'm so glad you're back. Poor Joe. He couldn't get a word in edgewise on the last show. You're going to have to learn him how to butt in when I'm talking too much.
I know. Joe almost quit. He's like, I don't know how you deal with Shally, Matt. I'm so worried. She was threatening me before with wine, and I don't know. So we had to get Joe therapy.
Those are lies. There were no threats involved, I assure you. But poor guy on the little messenger thing, he was like, I can't get a word in. Like, you got to just butt your way in, dude. You just got to butt your way in. So, before we start talking about the show, I do want to talk about something that I'm really excited about. So, I formed a cruising rock band, and the name of my band is Shally and the Starfish Funkadelic, in honor of George Clinton, of course, and the Parliament Funkadelic. We filmed a very crude rock music video on board a catamaran with Adrian Cozumel when we were in Cozumel on Carnival Cruisers Past, Present, Future 4th Annual Group Cruise. Bird was able to miraculously transform this video into a much better, slightly less ridiculous performance. It was one of the funnest days of my life, and I got to do it with some really amazing people. I just want to give them a shout out real quick to Javia Shaw, Kim, Makeda, Steven, Jack, Rose, Nicole, Dolores, Dwayne, Mike, Julia, my husband, Nick, for wearing those gold metallic pants, honey. I love you for doing that. My dad, Frank, Sir William, Adrian Cozumel, Paula and Shannon on camera. A special thanks to the crew of the Andiamo, one with Adrian, and also our wonderful Charles Bird over here. Zach did the whatever name you go by this week, was our producer. So please check out our video. Go to YouTube. Bird has the link down here, or you can just search at YouTube. There's only one Shally and the Starfish Funkadelic, so you shouldn't be too hard to find.
Any
So we
more
already have
would
like
be too much.
we have like 300 views already. I mean, I think I'm gonna go viral. I'm excited. So, but anyway, so on to the show.
If we lose
This
Shally
week,
as our co-host, it's because she's made it on American Idol.
I'm like they're gonna be signing me up with a contract and everything. But so anyway, this week we're going to talk about the different types of cruises that you can take on Carnival. Again, I'm not super educated on any other cruise lines. Normally, Matt and I talk about Carnival and things related to Carnival. So this is just applying to them. There's a lot more out there than just your typical 3 to 7 day cruise. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. The first one I was going to mention was what we call a back-to-back cruise. So a back-to-back cruise is when you book a sailing on the same ship for the week before or the week after your initial sailing. So I have had a lot of friends that have done these. I have not been fortunate enough to do that because, that's going to, well, I mean, if you did a 4-day back-to-back, that's an 8-day cruise. But a lot of times it's a week-long cruise and they'll do a back-to-back. So it makes sure, it turns it into a 14-day cruise.
That actually might be a good question to ask someone. Is it more cost-effective to do a back-to-back 4-day cruise or a 8-day cruise altogether?
Well, I don't know if it's really more cost effective because honestly, I talked to our travel agent about it to see, what was the deal with the pricing and things. And unfortunately, they really don't cut you any slack necessarily. I mean, it may turn out to be if you got a really good deal on a 4-day cruise and you did a back-to-back and you got an 8-day cruise, and then but booking the 7-day cruise might have been a little bit more. You might find, doing your research, doing, really like looking in and being flexible with your dates and things, you could probably find situations. But booking a back-to-back doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a discount on it or you're going to get a better deal. But a lot of people like to just stretch it out. You don't have the one thing about a back-to-back. So if you book your back-to-back at the same time, some people will book a cruise and then decide later let's do the week after or let's do the week before. But if you knew beforehand and you booked a back-to-back at the same time, chances are you'll be in the same cabin for both legs of your cruise. Now, if you book the second leg of your cruise and you didn't book it right away, you may have to change cabins. But the only thing you really have to do is you do have to walk off the ship. and go through customs again. But you don't have to bring your belongings with you, just your identification. And then if you do have to change cabins, and your cabin steward and the crew and everything, they'll help you move all of your stuff to your new cabin.
And you can bring on an additional bottle of wine because it is the start of a new ship, and you're allowed to bring on another bottle of wine. So I mean,
Exactly.
like
Yeah, you're starting a new cruise. Right. You're booking the next cruise. So yeah, definitely. There you go. It's all worth it over that bottle of wine. Too bad you can't bring the box, man, that would be so much better.
When you start to like really compress that liquid into one bottle, just let me know.
So that brings us to the next one, which is instead of a back-to-back, they call it a side-to-side cruise. So basically you are doing a back-to-back cruise, but this time you've gotten off one ship and gotten onto another on the same day that you got back from the cruise before. On a cruise like that, of course, you're still going to go through all the same custom procedures, embark and debark and everything, because you're actually going to get off of one ship and turn around and walk onto another ship. I've not done this either, but I think that I would book, I would try to make sure that, so like down here in Galveston, say one of our ships, it does several weeks in a row. It'll do the same itinerary. It'll go to Honduras, Belize, and Cozumel. Every week it does the same thing, but somewhere in there it'll change, and then it'll do Jamaica, Cozumel, and Grand Cayman. So I would definitely try to make if I was going to do a side to side or a back to back, that the second leg of my cruise would not be the same 3 ports that I just went and saw. So you'd want to make sure that you timed it the right way, to where it was the last week of one itinerary and it was the beginning week of the next itinerary, so that you could go to 6 different ports.
For people watching, let me know, because there might be some people who really like specific ports of call. Would you prefer to do 2 of the same cruises, which is visiting the same exact ports that you visited on the previous one, and then literally the next cruise, so, the 4-day cruise, go to Cozumel, the next one, and then go to the same ports, or would you rather go to different ports? To me, I feel like a lot of the ports get very similar to each other, especially a lot of the Caribbean island ones. However, if I had the chance to go back to Belize in a future cruise, I might be willing to do the same ports of call. Like when I was on the Carnival Magic, I really liked going to Costa de Maya and Cozumel and Belize, and Mahogany Bay was just meh, but I really enjoyed those ports of call. So I think I would be tempted to do the same ports of call again to try to explore new areas.
Well, you could look at it again, like if you did the same ports of call, then you could do 2 different excursions in each one. You could do 2 different things that you might want to do, because of course you only have time for one excursion while you're there under normal circumstances. But if you're going right back, you could pick another one. Or you look at it like this: the first half of your cruise could be doing the excursions and getting off the ship, and then the second half of your cruise, you don't even have to get off the ship if you don't want to. I mean, you have the whole ship to yourself. You've already been to the port. You could just make it the total relaxation leg of your cruise. Or if you want to just exhaust yourself and do everything you possibly can, then do your back-to-back with 2 different itineraries, so that for 6 days out of your 14-day cruise, you're getting off the ship and you're seeing a brand new place.
Exactly.
It just depends probably on your energy level, probably.
I mean, with the same ports, one of the other benefits of it is if you forget it in the port, there may be a chance that you can go back to the same port and find one of your items that you lost. I know.
Or if you just forgot to buy something. Or
exactly.
if you just there's been times when I meant to get a specific souvenir and I don't know what I was thinking, or maybe I had a few minutes. I mean, I know it's impossible that I might have had too much to drink, but maybe I just forgot something, and then I can go back and get it. So the next thing we'll talk about is what we call a transatlantic or a TA cruise. So most of your big cruise ships are going to be built in Barcelona or in Italy. So once a ship's building is complete, the ship will set sail on its maiden voyage. This cruise requires one-way airfare to Europe. Now, you're not going to get round-trip airfare, of course, because you're going to fly one way to Europe, but you're going to end up in the United States. So then you would fly from wherever you ended up in the United States. So anyway, most of these cruises are a minimum 14 days. They're usually more like 19 to 21, something like that. You'll fly into Barcelona most of the time. You'll start out with a Mediterranean cruise. After your Mediterranean cruise, then you'll cross the Atlantic, which takes a few days. And then once you cross the Atlantic, then you'll head to your Caribbean part of your cruise. And then after that, then after your Caribbean cruise, then they're going to take your ship and they're going to park her in her new home. Most of the time a brand new ship is going to end up in Miami. Not all the time, but most of the time the brand new one will end up in Miami first. So the example would be you're going to fly to Barcelona and then you're going to fly home from Miami. Or if you live in Miami, great, then you're already there.
Or if you do a back-to-back transatlantic for like a month.
Right.
If you've got that
but they
money,
wouldn't do that because they wouldn't do that because then they would have to be taking the ship back to Europe, right? I mean, they got to keep it here. Although you could do the next itinerary out of Miami. Is that what you're saying? Like you could,
exactly.
Oh my God, that would be a really long cruise. Dwayne and Eric did South Pacific. You fly into Hawaii, and then from Hawaii you do a Hawaiian cruise. Then you do Tahiti, Bora Bora, and Fiji. And then from there, you end up in Sydney, Australia. And then you fly home from Sydney. And then the next group of people, they would have flown into Sydney, done in reverse, and then they end up in Hawaii. And I think that was a 21-day cruise that they went on. Can you imagine how much Cheers would cost for 21 days?
I've seen like the year-round cruises. The Cheers on that is like $55,000. But I'm thinking to myself, I know,
carry the one, do the math. Seriously though.
Bad?
But even just 21 days, I would be wondering if after that long, if I'd even want to have a drink. I'd be like, just bring me water. Just bring me water. And an ice cold Coca-Cola with some crispy ice in it. That would be good. But anyway, okay, so any questions? Are we moving along?
We have kind of a comment from Cherise. Let me post that up there. She says at different ports, there's a whole world out there to explore and experience, and we would definitely go back if we really like that. Completely agree.
And that's the thing about a port. I mean, there's so much to do in one port, and if it's the only cruise you've ever been on, you get to pick one thing. But doing it back to back, you get to do two things if you went back. But I still, and this is only coming from my opinion because I've been on so many cruises. If I did it back to back, I would want it to be 6 different ports because the chances are I've already been to the 3 ports we're going to in the first place, and I don't want to do them 6 more times. So I would probably choose whenever the ship did an itinerary change. The next one we're looking at here is what we call a repositioning cruise. Just to say about the transatlantic cruises, the repositioning, the journeys cruises, the best way to find out how to book one of those cruises is to go to Carnival. First of all, if you have a travel agent, ask your travel agent. Or if you go to carnival.com and search in the FAQ area, all you need to look for really, you put in journey cruise, or you put in transatlantic, and it will bring up some search criteria for you to find cruises that do those type of itineraries. So this one is the repositioning cruise. Cruise is generally a 10 or more day cruise. So when a ship is moving from one port to another, let's say they're moving the ship from Miami to Galveston, they have to move the ship there. So they turn this into a cruise. You'd fly one way, let's say you'd fly into Miami to take the cruise, and then you'd have to fly home from Galveston if that were the case where they were moving the ship to. A lot of people in CCPPF who've done this say that they offer a lot of great deals for a repositioning cruise, and a lot of times they include ports that you may have not traveled to. So maybe some of the less, I won't say less popular, just not as common a port that they would include in that. The
like
easiest way to
Keys
find
Florida. Not a lot of people
I
really
mean,
go to
just
the
something a
Keys.
little different than your normal, where people don't
Islands,
go.
Caribbean, exactly.
It seems like Cozumel is on every single itinerary, just about. So the easiest way to find a repositioning cruise is to ask your travel agent or to go to the Carnival website and filter your search for a 10+ day cruise and look for the one-way cruises. Now, what a one-way cruise on the map, the way it's going to show it, it's going to have, and normally it would have a straight line and it would circle the port. And that would mean that, it's just a regular cruise. If the cruise just has the red line, the straight line to the port, and there's no circle around it, that indicates that it's a one-way cruise. So that would mean that this was one of the repositioning cruises that you're going to fly out of one, or you're going to leave out of one port and end up in another one, because normally you would leave out of one port and return to the same port. There's 2 more cruises left. That one's called the Journeys Cruises. The Carnival Journeys Cruise provides a unique cruise experience for guests who sail on select cruises for 9 days or longer. These sailings will offer unique ports of call, including, now your journey cruises are going to be your Panama Canal, your Alaska, your Hawaii, and your extended exotic Caribbean ports. The easiest way to find, and also on the Journey cruises, they said they do a lot of throwback stuff. They do a lot of like old school cruise stuff, like the old timey midnight buffet that they used to do that they don't do anymore, and stuff like that. That they do a lot of extra stuff on these cruises that they don't offer on the others.
We've actually had several different guests come on recently. I can't remember his name, but when I was interviewing the person from Alaska, he was telling us about the Journeys cruise up there, and I think we've had a couple of them on the show. So if you guys are interested in that, go back in the show.
Not only are the ports unique, but also the onboard activities on the ship are some things that that they used to do a long time ago and they don't do so much anymore, and they have more activities than normal. I was reading through the Carnival website, getting some information, all kinds of fun activities. I'm sure they're all listed in your fun times.
And it's not just your typical, let me go to a beach on this tropical island.
Right. I mean, we're talking about going through the Panama Canal, going through the locks. We're talking about, like the Hawaiian Islands and doing the South Pacific and things like that. So, in the Journey sailings, the easiest way to find a Journeys cruise is, of course, ask your travel agent or search in the FAQ section of carnival.com, search Journey sailings, and any cruises that are set to be on a Journeys cruise will come up in your search. And then the last thing we have is that Carnival does offer charters. You pretty much got to be a pretty big company in order to charter an entire cruise ship for just your company, but it does happen a lot. Many companies and organizations will charter an entire ship. This can range anywhere from a big company holding a conference to an organization funding cancer research to the Naked and Over 50 group having an all-nude cruise. I mean, there's all kinds of weird charters. There's charters that have concerts where, they have the whole cruise is centered around, my friend Stephanie would love this. They have the New Kids on the Block cruise every year or something. But anyway,
Shelly, I was
Stephanie, you're in your 40s. It's time to give up the New Kids on the Block.
To some of these cruises that he went on, so I'm starting to notice maybe
was he on the over 50 all nude cruise? I bet he was.
I don't know. He has the camera over his shoulders, so you can't really tell.
Yeah, you never know what he's doing over there. As a hairdresser, there's been several times, there's a huge nationwide professional beauty supply company called Armstrong McCall, and they charter a Carnival ship every year for continuing education. And on the ship, they'll have all kinds of conferences and continuing education for hairstylists and hair classes and color shows, and the whole ship is nothing but hairdressers. So they do stuff like that all the time. But like I said, Matt, it's coming a day when we're gonna charter an entire ship just for CCPPF. I can feel it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna have our own ship, and we're gonna take it over.
Or is it gonna be like you must be disintoxicated to leave your cabin?
There won't be everybody. It will be clothing optional. Let's just make it good for everybody, and then it can be optional whether or not you decided to go that route. But anyway, so that's my info for tonight. So check out. There's again, there's always a lot more to cruising than you might realize. There's a lot more options out there for you than you might realize. So do a little research. Go to CCPBF. Ask all your questions. We have 160,000 plus members in there ready with an answer to help you with all of your cruising needs. And don't forget to go to YouTube and look up Shally and the Starfish Funkadelic and check out our live rock music video because we're rocking it. There's the link. Where's everybody? Oh, oh, did y'all leave me?
So, moving along. So our cruise show and all of the wonderful abilities we have to bring in guests remotely wouldn't be possible at the level we do without vMix. vMix is our live production software that powers our live show and many other high-end productions, from church services to football games. More and more live productions run on vMix. What our producer Bird really liked when he was trying to improve our show was that they give you a full 60-day trial of everything. That way you can test it risk-free before you buy for 2 full months. Then they have systems starting from just $350 up to $1,500, depending on your production requirements. If you're going to do any sort of serious live streaming, you need vMix. Try it at vmix.com today. Costa Rica is home to a rich variety of plants and animals. While the country has only about 0.03% of the world's landmass, it contains 5% of the world's biodiversity. Around 25% of the country's land area is in protected national parks and protected areas. The largest percentages of protected areas in the world. Developing world average is 13%, while developed world average can also be about 8%. Costa Rica has successfully managed to diminish deforestation from some of the worst rates in the world from 1973 to 1989 to almost zero by 2005. One national park, Corcovado National Park, is internationally renowned among ecologists for its biodiversity, which include big cats and tapirs, and is where visitors can expect to see an abundance of wildlife. Corcovado is one park in Costa Rica where all 4 Costa Rican monkey species can be found. These include the white-headed capuchin, the mantled howler, the endangered Joffrey spider monkey, and the Central American squirrel monkey, found only in the Pacific coast of Costa Rica and a small part of Panama, and considered endangered until 2008 when its status was upgraded to vulnerable. Deforestation, illegal pet trading, and hunting are the main reasons for its threatened status. Tortuga National Park, the name of Tortuga can be translated, if I pronounce it correctly, which I probably did not, so I apologize, as full of turtles. It is home to the spider howler and white-throated capuchin monkeys, the three-toed sloth, the two-toed sloth, 320 species of birds, and a variety of reptiles. The park is recognized for the annual nesting of the endangered green turtle and the most important nesting site for the species. Giant leatherback, hawksbill, and loggerhead turtles also nest there. The Monteverde Cloud Forest Preserve is home to about 2,000 plant species, including numerous orchids. Over 400 types of birds and more than 100 species of mammals can be found there. Over 840 species of birds have been identified in Costa Rica, as the case of much of Central America. The avian species of Costa Rica are a mix of North and South American species. The country's abundant fruit trees, many of which bear fruit year-round, are hugely important to the birds, some of whom survive on diets that consist only of 1 or 2 types of fruit. Some of the country's most notable avian species include the resplendent Quetzal. Some of these names, by the way, guys, I'm really trying here, so bear with me. The scarlet macaw, 3-wattled bellbird, a bare-necked umbrella bird, and the keel-billed toucan. The Instituto Nacional de Biodiversidad is allowed to collect royalties on any biological discoveries of medical importance. Costa Rica is a center of biological diversity for reptiles and amphibians, including the world's fastest-running lizard, the spiny-tailed iguana. Remember, we have many past videos available for you to watch at our website at CruiseWeek.tv, which has links to our t-shirt pages and support pages as well if you would like to help us out with funding for our Season 2 trip. Or if you would like to advertise on the show, you can do that with the links from our site. If you know someone who will enjoy watching the show as much as you, be nice and share the link to their Facebook wall so they too can enjoy it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Just doing that alone really helps show our sponsors the support we have and helps keep the show alive each week. Plus, you get entered to win in some great cruise swag drawings. Joe is back next week with another fun show overing about more of your questions in cruising and how to get the best buck out of your cruise dollar. Till then, I will see all of you for our midweek show, which is a nice casual show every Wednesday about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, I'll see you on the ships.
We're clear. Okay.
Make sure you disconnect the other camera too.
Yeah. Hey, 1 second. Okay. Okay, guys, I hope everyone enjoyed our behind-the-scenes camera and get to see how Matt freaks out right before the show.
Yeah, definitely pretty out here. Close my eyes.
Till next week. See you later, guys.